Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. We're trading with you live without a net. Archangel Alts trading with you live on the Binance Exchange. Trading live without a net. And definitely can't think with that running in my head at full volume with myself, talking to myself about myself on here at this time. So it looks like it has got the information updated correctly. So only about 2 minutes behind. So tried to get a really good market watch instant insight to you, and found that I had accidentally hit the mute button. So like the last part of it was not correct. So I had to splice it up and send it in 2 parts, and now that's taken care of, and only 2 minutes behind, so hey, can't really complain too much about that. And on top of that is the first time that YouTube didn't say that it was saving the changes when it didn't. So when I Facebook and tweeted and our private group sent the link out, it didn't mess that up, so that was kind of nice. So I'm going to go ahead and post a link here. Pretty sure the same link works, but we're going to do the one that actually pulled up. And in just a second, this will be done. Posting this in our private group that is free to join on Archangel Alts. Please come join. We're just getting started with our soft launch this week, and it's kind of exciting, so we want you to come join along. You know, it's nice that we see that, you know, the stuff is kind of up and actually working, but it's, you know, the whole purpose is that we're here to help you, and so it's actually tougher for me to do what I'm doing right now while talking to other people. But yeah, okay, so that link works correctly. We're all set there. But you know, the whole idea is that we see how tough this market is. We know that it is tough for us daily, even in comparison to what we're used to it being difficult with. Sorry, a little adjustment to the mic there. So when we see the chatter in the groups with people saying, I give up, I've lost all my money, you know, what am I gonna do? We care about that, and we figured that it's better for a lot of people to be able to kind of get on board and learn what we have discovered and be a part of some success, than for us to just keep doing this silently, slowly on our own, and watching the frustration of others. So we kind of care about helping to lift up the market. And you know, on the grander scale, there's a selfish side and a unselfish side to this, which is that we want to see crypto succeed, and in crypto succeeding, we want to take a big bite out of that success. So this is actually kind of hilarious that people are still trading on Salt, even though it's going to get delisted. So here was the huge delisting drop, ouch, and yet it's still making enough movement for people to trade on. Don't try this at home. Do not do it. You have absolutely no idea at what point they're just going to give up. So Theta Coin is definitely on my list of ones that I like to watch on a regular basis. I think that's pretty cool. And you know what? I am going to set this up. Hopefully this doesn't create some kind of weird loop, unless it's a cool weird loop. But I'm gonna see. Is it not giving me? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna type it here instead of trying to type it on the side computer. So I'm looking at there. Yeah, you're seeing the same kind of stuff. So Theta, MITH, Steam, ONT, ONG. What else? What else am I trying to think of? We'll revisit Doc, CND. Let me take another look here. Jog on my brain. We'll do these alphabetically real quick. Oh yeah, of course. Ion. Ion. Good. Looks like I spared you from that sneeze that I just had. Okay. And So add IOST and probably not Nano unless it does something significant, kind of try to make the rounds anyway. And let's see, Phoenix coin is running rather low, but we'll add PHX. And Raven. And then for our friends that we've been talking to, curious about ARC, and also about HOT, and also about XRP, and also about ADA. Boom. Show me that that did what I hope it did. Because that was so. Theta coin, if you're looking at on a Binance, it is the last 4 characters, so it is a 2,500 value coin right now, which puts it at, I guess, like 25.50 would be somewhere around 10 cents or so. So it's gone from 2,400 to 2,500. That was quite a severe spike. That's good. So we want to be watching patterns in Theta, and we're going to keep an eye on that as we move through these. So that's myth, not myth. Don't confuse myth with myth. All right, so my guess here is that it's going to go into the 900s before it turns back up. Hopefully that's all that it has to do before it turns back up. We cleared our more reasonable positions in that, so we have 1175 left on our browser. And then we'll be clear of Zet. Said I wasn't going to look at Nano, but I am going to look at Nano because 2300 is kind of its going stronger position right now. And if I look over here at where we are in our browser, I'm going to switch over to Nano as well. I kind of got a sidecar going here. There's Nano, looking at our positions. So, yeah, long way to go. So those are pretty early. So that's not going to really change anything for our current positions. But if there's something good there, it's also kind of a similar value to Theta, and those coins seem to be pretty well synced with Bitcoin right now. So looking good as far as that goes. In fact, if we hold for just 1 second, I'm going to send this to somebody else as well. Alright, so we're looking back over here at Steam. Next on the line is Steam, see? Actually, never said I wasn't going to check out some along the way. There's Raven, everybody loves Raven. Everybody loves Raven. Okay, so coming down here to Steam. Ist gut, ja. So very happy we cleared our Steam, and it's holding in the same range where those things were cleared. In fact, we're going to be, if it's got enough volume to do so, I'm going to be kind of testing some things out. I'm not really going to talk about the effect that has on the balance of the order books too terribly much, because I do see patterns and things, and I'm interested in only doing things that are, healthy for our positions that don't harm other people in the process. But I don't mind testing things and canceling them if I don't think they're going to do what I need them to do. And my philosophy, or one might say my process, is to always kind of come in shallow and work my way towards where the current trade is, which means sometimes if I see a trend, I absolutely know that it's going to do something, but I do sometimes miss out. If there's anything that I err too far on one side because it's so easy to get stuck on something that seems like a big deal right then and then it doesn't come back for months. People are so, they're either on one side of the, hopelessly optimistic or completely jaded. There's not a whole lot of in between. So things don't tend to have the longest of tails once something does go right. But I'm going to test these out. All right, so we're letting that sit at 857. Yes, I know I switch to the Hall of Mirrors quite often, but sometimes you can get a little bit overwhelmed with making sure that you're doing the right thing, and it's really easy to leave that mute on or not have it muted when you thought you did. So, it would be a terrible program if I was muted every time I said something interesting and all you ever heard me do was yawn or sneeze or burps. That is not the kind of show I'm trying to run here. So I'm kind of working my way upwards, and what I'm doing is I'm watching to see just how much liquidity there is for this particular market, the market being Steem traded against BTC. So for instance, right now, I expect it to come down a little bit, but the last down was 876. And as you can see here, if you look at the blue box with the white letters as I'm moving this around, there's one extra unit there for the actual value of Steem. It's actually got 4 zeros ahead of it instead of 5. Some people might have a problem with this. I actually think it's a really cool thing that Binance rounds this off to where it's a 3-character. And which means that, you could have tons of trades that were 8841, 8843, 8879. But with this, it is a full unit more than that, which encourages better movement for the coin, which I think is cool. If they were to do it to only 88 or something, then that would be, to its harm, because then all the positions would start to pile up like the lower valued coins. Something like NPXS, and even some of the low hundreds like XBG, some of those other coins that are stuck there, VET. So when they're really on the move, they're pretty good, but when they're stuck there, they're stuck there. So right now our highest position is 863, and that is actually lower than where it dipped right here. So I'm not concerned about letting that sit for a half hour here. Muy bien. So ONT has had some serious spikes going on. So it was down at 17,000, made it all the way up to 19,000. That is fairly significant. In fact, if we were wanting to know how significant, we could go to our percentage increase calculator, which is really good for busting a move quickly. So let's say 17,000 and 1900. Let's just find out what that actually does. So we're going to switch over here. We're going to go to our percentage increase calculator, and we're going to just say 17,000. And we put this in, obviously, 17,119 would be 0.7%. What is that, 11%? Even more than that, 15%? Yeah, so about 11%. Massive movement there. Would have been happy to have been able to trade on that while it was happening. But let's also look at how short of a time that happened in. It was basically 2.5 minutes. So this would not have been safe, but this would have been a safe time to come in on there. So if you look at 1782, 92, about 1780 to 18. So yeah, it went about 3% higher than we needed it to do. So pretty darn cool. It's not really the kind of move that I'm looking to do right now. One of the things that I see, and we'll go over this in the advanced stuff, when you guys join. When you come and join, you'll have 3 days to check out the paid version for free. And then we're going to do, lots of extended trading with advanced teaching that we are currently holding back on that a little bit because we need to get you guys joining. So excited for that to happen. Very much. Very much. Yes. All right, so it's not the kind of position we're looking for right now. It's the expectation is that it will go up to 1786 in order for that to happen. It's closing that margin now. We'll have to wait another 10-15 minutes before it comes back down. I'm not actually looking to trade on that one so much as I'm keeping an eye on it because of this one, ONG, which it is now launched, so it has come down 27%. And it's going to find its real value on here pretty soon. But it takes about 2 or 3 days for it to do that for real. It was still moving so quickly because it's almost 10,000 BTC 24-hour volume. On the best days, there's at least 1 or 2 coins, trading at that capacity, but that has been a really long time. So it's not really a safe bottom to get in on yet, but I mean, you can see here there's some movement, here there's some movement. If you wait too long on the way down, you will get crushed and stuck if it hasn't found its real floor yet. So don't want to get stuck there. And this is probably not going to be an extremely long live trading session unless things really kick up. I plan to do what I didn't do yesterday, which is I stayed offline to work on the trading and watch the market because it got so bogged down with the ONG getting listed. I didn't want to risk bottlenecking any positions while also using the same bandwidth for trading through the live stream. So down here, 221 to 226 has been a fairly regular range for Phoenix. We're looking for it to get back up. You can see that it started to get there. Oh, it was so close. It was, less than 10 points away from clearing our positions. We've been waiting a little while. Some of our very few holds that we actually have, some of those are in Phoenix. So speaking of holds, let me see if I can segue into this correctly. We want to hold your attention every single day, and the best way for that to happen is for you to subscribe to YouTube. Ring the bell. Subscribe to YouTube. You're probably already joined on YouTube, but subscribe to us on YouTube. Ring the bell so that you get notices. We are trying to do market watch updates every day, sometimes several times a day, because the market's crazy. Slow, then extremely fast, then something moderate to slow like it is right now. And also, please click the link. Join us at Archangel Alts. It's free to join. We'll be sharing all the stuff here, and we could just do some Q&A, answer questions there. But the more advanced stuff, things where you're going to learn our entire methodology, all of our playbook, all of our strategies, what I'm thinking live, minute by minute, we're giving you a taste of that now while we're trying to complete the process of doing this soft launch. So all of these things come together in our group. You just click Archangel Alts, go to Getting Started, join forever free, and boom! You'll finish that email within a half a millisecond, and then we will add you to the group. So we're keeping an eye on that, and we really, really, really hope that you will join us. That's kind of the whole point, is to turn this into a community effort, help you to improve your trading skills, learn how to follow processes, learn how to look for patterns. You're going to learn your indicators better than other people will teach you because we're not concerned about, decades of traditional stock market fluff. It doesn't all apply to do things this way. So, the crypto world is not for the faint of heart, but you do it because you believe in it. And you do it because there are opportunities here that will once this becomes just like another, stock market traded commodity or security or whatever they decide to call this technological blockchain wonder. This is kind of the wild, wild west where anything goes. We are looking to keep you safe in your trades, but we really don't want the regulation to come in. We are not Winklevoss twin minded people when it comes to the way that the market resolves itself. CZ with Binance has done a stellar job in his first year. I guess we're getting to a year and a half now, and just really remarkable keeping things safe, keeping things on track, improving technical support when needed, and reducing the amount of times that it is needed. So pretty cool. So, I personally, one of my skills with this is when things do get crazy and there's real sine wave oscillating market activity, not just a spike and then it's dead. I'm very good at moving quickly. Unfortunately, those times have been so few and far between that I have had to learn how to just deal with the reality of swing trades. Sometimes happen to carry over from a day or so. But to me, if it trades longer than an hour, it'll always feel like it was a really long time. So I don't ever get to experience that very often, the way that comes most naturally to me. But when those times do happen, you will be ready because you joined us, you learned from us, and you trained. You became a Jedi market trader person, studied, learned, fellow scholar, student, academic extraordinaire. Okay, I'm just using words at this point. Doc. Let's take a look at Doc. Sitting on the dock of the coin. And it's time to trade. We hope you will join. Sign up at archangelalts.com. The end. Stop dangling your participles. Okay. So 235 is a good entry point. We're not looking to get in on this right now because it's going to be like a 3-hour position. If you are looking for longer positions, though, and I am not a professional, I do not have a certified professional champion in crypto trading certificate on the wall. No, I don't. But are there really any experts in this? Well, when I look at Roger Ver and Craig Wright and think that these are the leading minds in the industry, according to most people, they're going to be reshaping the internet as we know it. It's a little bit scary because I'm not really seeing a lot of understanding in economics, though they understand brilliant, amazing, unbelievably cool things about the technology. So really incredible people out there, but from the economic side, they really need to have a more global perspective on what's actually going to happen with this stuff. So yeah, I know, I can't help myself. It's only 35 BTC, so one of two things happens. It either helps to kind of break this up or it doesn't. And, it's like let it sit for 11 seconds, rinse, repeat. We'll see if this. So more likely it'll shift a tiny bit when I actually pull out of those positions. But yeah, we don't want to just sit here and watch paint dry. We're hoping that we're going to find something to get into. It's definitely been a challenge. We thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Ring the bell so you get notices. We will be updating you with stuff about the market that matters and makes sense. Please, archangelalts.com, click there, go join, be a part of our community. So incredibly mature, that's why you like me. Okay. So things are actually still moving quickly here, and it looks like it's going to continue upwards. But oh yeah, I before I left, golly, I'm just trying to cover too many things, aren't I? So if you like slower positions, when you look at this at the 1 minute, you can see there's a lot of Morse code. We call this Morse code for obvious reasons, and we call these binary positions for also obvious reasons, when it's only going between one position and another. But you look at this at a slightly longer period, and it's doing a fairly predictable pattern, I would say. So if you were looking for a slower position, once again, I am not a professional financial analyst. You do this at your own risk. Yes, you do. And I'm not sure if anybody's actually here to take this advice, but I'll give it anyway. You can look back and see that I said it. Coming in at 236 and waiting it out to do anything around 239, maybe even 240 is probably a safe bet if you like that sort of thing. So now we're looking at fuel. We need fuel to go up quite a bit. We were back. Let me show you where we were. back here. And the dreaded Bitcoin Cash drop, this actually recovered quite nicely, but then, everything went down with Bitcoin at this point. It took about 2 weeks for the whole thing to bottom out. This fuel did not come back up as well as many others did. So we look at this. Going in your really long term, I can see that there is a gradual, hopeful move. What I would expect to see, and this is kind of the principle of thirds. This is part of it, but I expect this spike to, even though it is headed upwards, it's kind of doing that following a shorter trend in Bitcoin, which I can kind of show you how those two look similar to each other. I would not take short-term risk with fuel right now. Having said that, I will keep an eye on it, and if there is an entry point, then I'll take advantage of that. So you can see this on the 1 minute is what's happening with Bitcoin. And now we're going to go back to fuel, and I'm going to show you the longer version of that. Almost exactly the same. So isn't that interesting? Patterns that occur. So if you're looking for, 2 to 3 day trades. Yes, I did press that. I'm so paranoid I'm going to leave myself muted for a while. Let's not do that. If you prefer like day 1, day 2, or 3 day trades, I would watch for 212 and get out anywhere between 212 and 215 to 220. It's a pretty safe range. Just means you either are using a bot to program that in so it'll auto sell for you, or keep an eye on it. I'm kind of getting more and more towards doing everything organically. Tested a ton of use with bot stuff, and just finding that unfortunately it slowed us down. It is really fun. It is really cool. You get stat information that you might not get otherwise. So I'm not ruling out using that again, but they don't think for you. You have to constantly adjust them. It's a whole different, you're kind of working the bot instead of working the market. And for me, I like to get right there in the front line and know that my trade went in because I told it to, not waiting on another layer of thinking. So this might be slowing down a little bit. That's part of why I'm going to keep this a little slow. And then I'm hopefully anticipating things to pick up pace a little bit around 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's just kind of a gut thing. I was anticipating getting back in the 5 a.m. rush when ONG, which is gas for ONT, it sounds so weird, when that got listed on Binance, 10 or 11 UTC, 10 UTC. So that was 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I was watching the market, and it was just dragging so much energy from their servers. It's one of the faster ones I've ever seen climb. Its real excitement level is on day 2. Not to diminish the fact that we had, let me do this according to 24 hours so you can see. Mod, sub. Where are the others? Oh, they're actually picking up a little bit. So it's mod and sub. I would expect them to be down there. I'm going to have to do this alphabetically then. So also salt, which is actually still trading a little bit. Please avoid runaway. So we got sub, and we have mod, and we have cloak. What about cloak? Oh, I'm in my favorites. Why do I do this to myself? To be helpful. That's why. So this is negative 6% on top of the negative 30% it had already done. And so we got mod. Oh, yeah, wings is the other one. There we go. Now, don't you confuse that with Archangel Alts, because our wings will give flight to your crypto. It's down another 30% from the massive fall from grace. So, yeah, don't follow those kind of wings. Follow ours. So speaking of which, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Ring the bell so you get notices. Go to Archangel Alts, join our group. It's free. We got you from there. So in the midst of this soft launch, we're just trying to really amp things up, do so quickly because, it causes a slight, slowdown on our own actual trading process to cover all these other things instead of just, we call it being in the room. When you're in the right headspace to trade and kind of get into like a zen-like place. There's got to be a better word for that, but just in a hyper-focused place where I'm in the room and, kind of worry less about the world around me. It is certainly a troublesome, worrisome place. But we focus, we pray, we work hard, we're diligent, and, our trades we're having to err, very much on the side of caution right now. We do not like to get stuck in anything at all, ever. And 98.7% and better of the time, we don't get stuck in anything. But having to be overly cautious because it seems like that's the kind of energy that it needs. But nope, a bull. It is a bull. That's what we want. But in those times, just everything is a little bit slower. We're lucky if we get, 10, 15 trades in a day. And that's what, honestly, a lot of people are doing in a week. If that, we're doing smaller trades because we want to train, teach. And we want to make sure that we don't have any big stuff stuck in anything that goes for a day or two. Just kind of being smart because we're looking out for you guys as we plan for you to come join us. Oh, yeah. Basic attention token. I like to call it basic attention span. So what is the basic attention span of a token? Probably pretty short. What are you thinking? I'm a pretty good token, but I have attention deficit disorder, so sometimes my hash rate's a little bit all over the place. Other than that, I'm a pretty good coin. So, basic attention token, if I remember correctly, let me make sure I'm on the right thing here, is the creator of the Brave browser. And if you want to be brave, use their browser. It actually is really quick, very decentralized, privacy oriented. I am impressed by them and their project. It has hey Zio, it's good to see you. Yeah, I was going to come back when they were launching the ONG, and it was kind of making their servers a little bit glitchy, and it was like really taking up energy on the browser side. Crazy stuff. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you see ARK is in that list right there, so I'll get right to it. There's lots and lots of spikes happening. ONT and STORJ. And I'm trying to do this from memory. It's kind of fun to try to remember that stuff. ELF was getting kicked around pretty crazy. So I believe, I see those happen when they're not directly in connection with other things. It usually is on the clock, either on the hour or half hour. So you can see ELF hit that crazy peak. And almost there. Yeah, check that out. It was at 123% at one time. But what impresses me is that it started here at, it was about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it held for an hour before reaching its peak. So I always look for where's the second one. Most people probably would have expected it to be here, but I think it's only just happening now over here in the 835, 840 range. Yeah, that's a good question. Ezio is asking about why I think that happens. Usually, if something resyncs with Bitcoin, like things will go down with a spike and then they'll go down with another spike, and then it comes up steadily. Things will way overemphasize in a certain value category, like things that are 4 decimals out, things that are 5 decimals out will all kind of sink. That is not one of those things. This is a pump. And there were several of them that happened at the same time and several that were in sync to happen an hour later. Just having seen it enough times, it's, tomorrow there will probably be articles about how it's because somebody announced something or didn't announce something. The ETF, somebody from the SEC had a ham sandwich, and that's why Stork went to 123%. Nope, it's not that. It was a pump. Definitely a pump. It's what I don't know is whether this is like a group that does it, because it's much bigger than what groups usually accomplish on their own. It really could be just an individual that decided to hike things up. They have much better programming and technical analysis for that kind of thing, just that kind of thing. They have privately coded bots that are not available to the rest of us. Although, I know the kind of things that are beneficial in those kind of bots. So yeah, this was the same time, wasn't it? This was the... in fact, I didn't get to ring the cowbell. I didn't ring the cowbell! I need to ring the cowbell. More cowbell. And cowbell number 2. I don't know why that cracks me up, but it's like that lull when the person's reaching for the second one. That gets me. Very funny. So yeah, Ezio, I checked out your Instagram following, and that probably means that you see Archangel Alts is following me there, so that's really cool. I am very not Instagram savvy, but I'm not the marketing guy with Archangel Alts either, so it's kind of cool that Kakashi is handling a lot of the web and marketing stuff, and really kind of an amazing person. He's got an amazing team there. And it was also fun. We had our friend who has been watching the stuff with me for a long time before we got to the launch, SCP. We got to actually have an on-air conversation when he was showing me about the delistings that we covered. So that was pretty cool. So looking at ARK, the cool thing about this is that, whoever was pumping this is probably not too happy about the lack of success with the pump. It could be in a grouping with other things that got pumped. Sometimes it's kind of like you have aftershocks that happen, but this was right on the hour, so that was a pump. But pumps stop caring around here, and then this is a natural movement that's usually actually it doesn't come up this high. Usually, in fact, there was a correction there. That's really interesting. Let me show you this. This is looking at the volume. The volume had a huge drop, but people went back in. And usually, there's no signal in a pump for that kind of thing. How can you join the team? Man, the best thing is to just go to Archangel Alts and join the group. And I'll get the email and add you in there. And you can always, I can put you in contact with Kakashi, and he can talk to you about stuff. That would be really cool. But it's always cool having you here. It's hopefully we're going to have a crowd of smart people like yourself. So I'm kind of interested in... We have to chop off that 1 decimal to look at it in terms of the order book. 1374, really about 1385, 86 would be nice. 1385, 86. That's exactly what it's on track for there. We wait, and then we jump. We wait, we jump. We wait, we jump, we jump, we wait, we jump. Okay, I got you. Yeah. I actually have not done the analytics on the smartphone. It should resize and do everything right there, but maybe it's a little bit slow on the phone. Hopefully not. But actually, I could probably... Here, give me a second. I was going to see if there was a way for me to give you a direct link from the site to the sign-in, but I just went ahead and posted the page just in case that creates a shortcut. But was it running a little slow on let's see, resized, but wouldn't load the sign-up thing? Huh. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'll make sure that he knows that. All right. We have placed your technical difficulty to the top of our queue. You should be hearing back something soon. Oh, now I have something else to attend to. Hold on just one second. All right, and we're back. So getting my brain plugged back in here. So we were looking at the 1370-ish range, and looks like it might be coming back down to here, 1355 maybe. Let's I'm actually going to assume that that's what it's coming back down to. Make a note of that for myself. So So I'm actually not putting in anything right now because I'm kind of expecting something different to happen with Bitcoin in the next half hour. I don't want that to affect getting stuck in anything long term, but I do think that, yeah, I mean, it's sitting right there where we're talking about. We're going to come back to ARK in a few minutes, so I just kind of made a note for myself. Yeah, I agree, Ezio. I think that there are some good opportunities there. It's going to have to go through that point of transition and see whether it does something more around here. Short term, don't really need as much as a percent to just get in there and move on. Some people are going to be more slower 2 and 3% type traders. Some people are going to be more day traders, swing traders. I personally like to go at as consistent a pace as I can find. And part of that is like, annoyingly slow when it does the kind of things that it's been doing. I want to take a look at gas and IOST. Yeah, see, it's kind of hovering where Bitcoin is hovering. And it's really interesting because it had already done its own stuff over here. But this is not what Bitcoin was doing, but this is what Bitcoin is doing. So it's actually, yeah, see, there it goes. There it goes. Shut up and trade. Yes, sir. So I like to come in shallow, even though the opportunity is right there. I'm not going to take a risk that I can't afford to get stuck in. So putting a pretty heavy amount there at 722, that's about $800 if we live in Bitcoin world. And you could say it didn't stay up there at 820 for more than a half a second. So most likely, because the trade volume is picking up very slightly on Bitcoin, but it's doing it like 20 cents at a time, it might see like over anticipation of the response to that. So this one up here, but then it was already down to 773. So this is happening very quickly. What I would like to see is to get in where it's hovering just around here, and then bam, grab it on the way up and be done. So once again, let me make a note here. I'm thinking 772 on gas. So I'm actually going to make a note to myself over here. Yeah, but 5%, that's awesome. I mean, because you look at the amount of risk that's involved in getting that, and things change direction so quickly. So you're doing good, Ezio. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's so tough not to be in there already. But there's the trend. You can see the trend is there. It's just so often there's like an instant reversal of this stuff. But it is like this candle right here, just this one brief moment in time, is what Bitcoin is doing right now. So this is literally just a reaction because Bitcoin went up $2. And that's what's so crazy about this stuff. So now this is going to pump. Yeah. It might even go beyond the last one. We'll see. Probably not, but it might go above from here. Let's see. This one, well, I mean, there's no way to judge on that one. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. That's going up. I have to, if I'm not diligent in my own things for protection, for safety, then I would be a bad example to others. So as much as I want to be in there right now, it could even go to 900. It's not worth the risk because when is the last time it was sitting up there? We're already waiting on other positions that do that kind of stuff. So this was in the 7s, low 8s. Only back to around here before the Bitcoin cash crash, the hard fork, was it doing this kind of stuff. You go, gas. You go with your gassy self. All right, so there's the peak. I was going to say 773, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in anyway. We'll see what happens with that. So gas. $773. Make sure that I am actually making sound. That's always a good thing to do. Okay, so I'm going to leave that, and the next one we're going to look at. I'm going to check back on Ion. Nothing for you right now. Nothing. Coming back around to ARC. Okay, so it's still looking for the right time to finish that pattern. You can see it at the 5. Okay, I'm going to show you something that I like to do just to kind of get calibrated to the coin. Forget the initial coin offering or the initial listing on Binance when factoring the stuff in. Looking at the lifetime, obviously almost everything is really low in comparison to the lifetime, so this has a lot of upward movement, but I wouldn't consider like making it all the way up to its first initial real average. So we come in to look at a slightly shorter period of time, and it's almost like a whole different paradigm, but you can see where things are very similar in the market with other things happened. But here's our 1300, 1400, 15, 20, 30, 40. So ARC has so much room for those who have been watching it for a long time. If some of these that are fairly decent projects start gaining momentum, people that have been kind of letting their wallets sleep for a while might come in and start trading against them to hold even more. It just depends on what their philosophy is there. 477 24-hour volume in BTC on Binance, and ADA has done some really interesting stuff. We look at the low. Actually, that's a really narrow range for the 24-hour high and low, isn't it? But that's exactly how much room you want if you're wanting to get a % plus on top of the fees. So kind of coming up from a fairly dangerous low position, so I would be really careful there. But let's look at the actual movement. There's a lot of Morse code in there, but that's okay if it holds its own. What I don't want to see is like Morse code stair stepping, where it just gets stuck for half an hour and then goes down, then gets stuck for half an hour and goes down and down and down. That does happen a lot. So if you are looking at longer positions for ADA, what I would do, I'm going to go to about a 4-hour look over the past couple weeks. Really strong movement there. It's still kind of at a downward angle, so just be really careful. I would do shorter positions or pick something low to get in and let it sit for a little bit. So what did you go in with on ADA, Ezio? I mean, like, what was the value? Were you trading against AUD or were you trading against Bitcoin? It's like maybe about 100 US worth of ADA. Is that about right? I'm waiting on that. I'm actually going to check the... Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, it spiked all the way to 900. All the way to 900. Now, there are times when it's normal for the market to do this kind of movement. I will grab it on the way up, and I mean, I'm insane to do that. And we're only stuck with a total of 12 different coins with those positions. So, but some of those are because of the kind of spammy stuff that you just have to fight yourself not to jump in. I mean, obviously, now that I know that it went up more, it would be nice to have that. But I still feel good about the decision because it's just really dangerous to grab it on the way up. I mean, here was a little bit of an indicator. Probably could have done it there. But I'm still thinking for a longer, safer thing when it comes back down to that range. I mean, maybe it's not going to, but it's going to settle into something, and then that's the time that I'd rather catch it up. But yeah, gas is obviously not done. It wasn't just a single spike and then, boom, you're it. So that's really good. ARK. What was it that, oh, that was ADA. Gotcha. That it was trading a real, yeah, it's kind of trading a narrow range there. Yeah, I need to add ARK to, like my daily watching stuff because there's some interesting stuff going on there. I just lean towards the low side on stuff. Yeah, Neo, I'm going to take some time to do like an in the news thing on covering each individual coin and talking about the project. I've started a little bit of that with Myth 3, whatever their project, the actual name is called, but their coin is MITH, the call for the coin. ARK is a good one, ADA is a good one, Neo is a good one. I think Ontology is an interesting one. I just, it's about, trust of the people behind the process. And unfortunately, the most important group there, with Bitcoin and what used to be Bitcoin guys with Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash, they're all, just in a very unsettling state right now. So that's just the way it is. But gonna check it out from the 24-hour again. So I'll expect this to keep coming down. It was 129% and it's going to keep settling down. Gas, yeah, I'm surprised that it made it back up that high for sure. OST is interesting. See, all of these spikes going on. These things don't happen just independently for no reason. There's a lot of all the signs are pointing in people having some enthusiasm, some expectations, because I mean, Bitcoin is really around its cycle where it would start to take another short dive, dive from people shorting it. Yeah, exactly. I'm doing one series for the tried and true trading. We go back over our positions, so somebody doesn't have to just watch the live trading history in order to know what we've been doing. But doing tried and true trading where we recap positions and what we're waiting on to clear and what we are happy that we have cleared. We're doing a market watch instant insights where we go through and just show what's happening with the different coins on the market floor. And then just covering regular crypto news, which is never regular. Today I need to actually catch up with one of those. And then I want to do a series, creating playlists for each of these, of course. I've just started organizing those. But doing a series on individual coins. Just each thing will just focus on a single coin. So I'm glad that you're interested in that. That's cool. So OST is doing the exact same next position, and this is pretty extreme compared to Bitcoin's up. So if these things remain in sync with that, then I attribute it to they are in that value group where they're going up with Bitcoin, and that's that's the reason we want to see this stuff happen. The other ones, there's absolutely no question in my mind that they were organized pumps, especially being right on the clock. So we were saying 773. I'm actually going to plug that in and just see actually what the response to the order book is. So that's like right around, yeah, see, there we go. And that would be the thing like, okay, where's the top? Where's the top? Where's the top? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I don't want to be up there. Hindsight, always 2020. But 773 is going to start to actually look pretty high in comparison, I think. this is about a 3-minute cycle that we're going to be watching, so this is kind of exciting. So, oh, it just did it too quick. Okay. There goes 7.99. And now I'm actually going to look at something very small around 8.07. Nope. Yep. 8.07. 8.11. Okay, it's looking like it's an actual up. You know, the thing is that it's like a really, really high temporary position for Bitcoin, so this is very, very risky. I mean, even small amounts, I don't really want to get stuck in a single thing. So we're looking about 820 to 828. If it proves that that's really where the end of the cycle is going to be, I'm always going to try to err on the safety's side. 773. I'm not convinced that it's going up from there. Now, I mean, technically, if we got in here, we'd already be done. If I see that this isn't just kind of popping positions in there and testing other people's stuff. Yeah, I see, okay. It's not just going to keep going up for another wave. Very, very, very tricky. Very tricky. So I'm going to test even smaller stuff. It's about a $20 position. A $20 position. So are you going to come and grab these? It looks like you are. But if you're only doing it while you're slowing down, then I'm not convinced it's a good idea. Bitcoin is hovering at 36.31. It's trying to decide whether it can cut through 36.32 and upwards. So that's kind of going to be the determining factor about what happens with these guys. And it went down to grab some of them, so let's see. So our highest one is 817. So I'm going to try it around. So now it has to go through those. And, well, we'll see. 817, 822. Yeah, see, it's doing that double down I was concerned it was going to do. Go with your instinct. 822. So wouldn't it be funny if it went down to 773? Not really all that funny, actually. But I'm going to test a little bit of lower stuff. To hit 822, hopefully it'll go ahead and do that now. That's what I'm hoping to see happen. Wow, swinging a really wide range there. So 555, 7. And that's about where I would stop doing that part of my process. Different kind of market, and if they expect it to be like a steady stock market, and they're surprised, mass adoption of blockchain, blah 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 blah, Bitcoin, blah 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 blah, go sign up for Coinbase. Then they turn me down. Then I have to prove who I am, and then they finally allow me to have my Coinbase account, and then I buy Bitcoin, and then it goes down $1,000. It's like, holy Toledo. Hey, for Kakashi, could you email us a screenshot of the problem you were having with your smartphone in signing up for the free forever? Just want to see if it's something that's not either emulating or showing the problem on our end. It would be really helpful. You could email me at gordon@archangelalts.com, or I'm sure we have a support thing. In fact, I'm going to find out what we have on our website. That would probably be smart, huh? So do contact us. Let's see what the email is here. Waiting for my browser to kick in. Running a lot of stuff in the background. There we go. So yeah, support@archangelalts.com. And put this in here. Going to you live. Putting it in here. There. Oh, your email gives you trouble. Gotcha. Yeah, so you can send like a direct image in Instagram. Is that how that works? Okay, so this isn't what I want to see happen with gas. All right, so as we're watching this little thing happen, it's kind of funny because Bitcoin did cross that 36.32 to 36.33, but gas decided not to follow it there. So this is not going to be one of those things where we wait this out forever. We want to see this go ahead and clear and move forward. All right, it's going to wait that out for a half a second and take a look at ADA is still actually not really in sync with anything. It's just kind of doing its own thing. So not a great time for any short-term stuff on ADA. Assistant District Attorney coin. Maybe not. Probably not. Definitely not. 1357. And what was the amount that I put over here? Still looking pretty cool if gas can go ahead and correct itself now. Like, do it now. Now. Go ahead and do it now. Now. Note to self. Find note to self. ARC 1355. Yeah? That was the answer to that. So, show. So, right around there. And it looks like it's heading up. So, we're going to take things a little more cautiously because it's really tough to tell if Bitcoin is kind of peaking out on this cycle. Amount should be, oh yeah, of course. 1311, 1322, doing about $112 on each of these. $130. Okay, so it's actually reacting. This is actually the shape that Bitcoin is doing right now. And it's amazing because you have to look for the pattern within a pattern. ARC is doing its own pattern, but it is responding to a baseline of Bitcoin. Yeah, I was actually watching just entertaining myself while I was doing trading. There's this show that's an Australian show where people think that they have the best, not bed and breakfast, but this kind of new trend of their homes that they rent out as luxury hotels. And then these very particular people come to rate the different ones that they stay at. And so I was thinking about Australia earlier because these people were coming to their room and they had left the lights on. So when they opened the door, they had like 17,000 million gazillion bugs flying around in their what was otherwise pristine hotel bedroom thing. It was very funny. We're just kind of testing this as it goes along. Kind of take a look at gas in the sidecar. Okay, you do that. That is what we're expecting for you to do. Finish that pattern, gas. You do that. That's what I say. 1343. Did it say amount needed to be smaller? Yes, gotcha. In fact, I'm going to go ahead 1343 from here. Like to come in shallow, work my way up. Take a moment just to pray about our positions, look for the help from the Lord, just to guide us, make the right decisions, make good, wise decisions. Small, careful steps as we go along. So things are getting into a good place. This is, to me, this is like the normal, just like the brink of, in our history of trading, that I would consider like this is as slow as I would ever be comfortable in trading. So the fact that we're doing this and the market is as, dead other than the ridiculous spikes as it's been, it's like completely and totally out of my comfort zone, but I've had to learn to make profits and move forward despite that. So I love using the client because it lets us click right over to whatever we're working on. And if this doesn't test well very soon, it's kind of hovering with a lot of these Morse code positions. 199 BTC is actually enough for it to do better than what it's doing. So the volume, you can see it only barely picked up just a little bit there. This was significant, and this was that like 7 o'clock thing that happened. This is the 8 o'clock movement here. This is the almost 9 o'clock movement here. Seems to me like, It's very interesting because this is what is weird about when there's not an upward momentum. Oh, come on. Come on, gas. Seriously. Seriously. I think I'm actually going to switch my attention over there. But you'll notice that there is an uptrend. Each of those patterns is in a higher place, but it does less each time it repeats the pattern. So switching over to gas, it was almost there. Went it to 815. And then it was like, not so much. So Bitcoin came down $3 and gas was like, yeah, now I care. Now I care. And let's see, we were at 817, so 827. Yeah. Yeah, 825. Oh yeah, let's just set it for 825. Really hope it does that. I'd like to not be holding anything. That'd be really cool. So it's a very small thing. There's still that gradual thing, but just like the others, it's kind of getting stuck on the way up. I mean, it's so ready to just finish that pattern. So I like to go in just very low and kind of test to see what it looks like on the order book when I get in there. So it's a lot of things I'm not going to explain until we get into the advanced stuff in the paid group. And I'm going to let that sit for a second. Yes, I keep forgetting to check all the things that I need to when I go to that window. Ooh, painful. Gas, why do you do this? So now our concern is that it goes all the way down. You know, the whole trend starts to fall downwards. And it's got 1100 BTC, so there's plenty for a buy-in. It's not done with this cycle, but the cycle, as it gets longer, it gets more risky for the position we put in. So yeah, kind of wishing that I wasn't overzealous on that second time around. But what I'm finding is that a lot of positions that I'm used to being very quick end up being a swing trade. Somewhere 5, 6, 7, 9 in the morning is when it clears. So the bad, we'll just use this as a teaching moment because I obviously need to listen to my own advice. When you start to see this, as opposed to there being a slight stair step up, as it's, you know, I don't mind this. It's when the correction happens, I want to see more of a boom, 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 boom. We want to see it more like a stair shape. Even if it comes back down, that stair shape goes up. Those are usually not a very good sign, unfortunately. But let's hope that this is the turnaround right here. So we are now, the MACD is saying yes, the stock RSI is saying yes, and the volume is not yet saying yes. Alright, well, we watched that. Actually, the scanner's been going off like crazy. I've just been so focused I haven't even been listening to it. In fact, things have been active enough to where it may be actually crashing the scanner, so it may not work right now. Yep, it's just sitting there transparent, so I'm going to have to close that out. Oh my goodness. Yep, see, now we have to go up 70 points. 75 points. Not what I was hoping for, but we're going to be sitting in gas for a while. So happy to clear it earlier, not so happy to have to wait on it now. So we're going to go back over to look at Ion, which is still in its Morse code. Take a look at ARC, which isn't doing a heck of a lot better right now. It's getting into really near positions. So in about 10 minutes, ARC is going to have a breakout. That'll be interesting. What has happened since ELF got pumped real hard? Okay, so it's going into a very narrow range there. So let's see. Actually went right to the 5-minute is where the mirroring effect has happened. I kind of look at this like looking at your reflection in a mirror, and you have this when the spike happened, and then it sat kind of in this range. Sorry, the dip. If you look at this like coming up from here and then going up here, this is the average. So you have a mirroring of it came up here, went up there. So I'm kind of expecting it to mirror this, and then if it's strong enough, it'll come back up to this average. If not, then it'll go back down somewhere towards this. Usually somewhere in between those, it'll be back down. Right now, 3380 is about 120 up. So about 120 down would bring it to around here. So I'm kind of thinking that the 33 range is probably where that's headed down. And closing out the scanner, maybe we'll get to open it back up if it'll work. Take another look over here. Not happy about that at all. So we had exactly the same pattern here, and then it went up from there. Here it went up. Here it went up. Here it went up. This trend is still good for an upward, but now you can see everything is going against that trend there, and people will get scared and respond to that. That's more than anything the reason that it concerns me. So I want to come in and see where there might be some positive points to lend it a little support on the way up. It's like 691. 691. This was back in October, and Bitcoin Cash, hard fork. So it is still trying to recover from then, is what's going on. So if I can slide it fairly easily, am I really reading that? I went down from 490, 4,000. Yeah, that's an actual different decimal. Wow. Okay, so in the long term, oh my gosh, we're so insignificantly in that spike. That was, I don't even know how to count how much higher that was. Oh, poor gas. What on earth have you been doing all this time? So if this is 0009, this is the first in comparison to, this is 10,000 compared to 16,000 that it was over here in September. And it has just really been fighting its way back up. It's going to make it back up into the next digit over in a very short time. So I'm not really concerned about the position in the long term. I just really want to be able to give better examples of the short-term stuff we're used to doing, and I shouldn't have gone in when I did. So there you have that. D&T is coming to a really narrow position, so it'll have a breakout pretty soon. Oh, that's a harsh down on gas. I've got gas. I don't want it. D&T 301 to 305 was a pretty safe move there. Raven, we're looking at some pretty high positions. One, yeah. We'll see whether that volume is from a while back or whether it's actually doing anything right now. Wow, so that ended up being like a triple down on gas. I don't know what you was thinking there. Gas, why you do this? Yeah, you're right. I thank you for the confidence. I appreciate that. I think that Hollow is a really risky up, but it depends on. I mean, if you have something set aside for exactly what you expect, I think 39 might be as much as I would expect it to go up for the next week. It was really amazing. I mean, for something that has this much Bitcoin to clear, when it was doing this range just over the several days. I know somebody that had been waiting when it was at, like, what was it, 8? Wasn't it as low as 8? Well, anyway, something really low. And they held it and held it and held it, and they got tired around 18 and sold it. And then, but yeah, we got in and out of that and MPXS really quickly, and that was nice. And hey, glad to see that happening. Oh my gosh, so close. So close. That's actually where our entry was. So, oh my gosh, there's just like irony floating around everywhere. But yeah, I mean, if you are, because you're trying the mining out on Hala. So, I mean, what I would say is to pay attention what the pulse of the community around the coin is saying and thinking and doing, because ultimately all of this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the only thing we can't control is, I mean, unless you have $200 million, then you can help push Bitcoin where you want it to go, and that'll help it do whatever you think it will do. But and I'm looking at IOST, and then the possibility dies down around 200. So that's actually pretty decent for us if it works that way. So actually, I would kind of recommend going in on IOST 189 to 194 range. Don't know that it's going to handle this part as well as I'd like to. Kind of interested in testing it. So we're going to come up shallow as always. Uh-oh. 88. And Bitcoin is correcting from 36.28 to 36.31. So that's going to help hopefully put it into the downtrend. It was a much sharper downtrend that happened on gas than what the charts would tell you. That's kind of an instinct thing. You know, I am still trying to learn to follow where my instinct says to go while discussing it out loud. It's still kind of a foreign thing to me. I want to see what Raven is actually still doing there. Yeah, no point in following that right now. Gas is coming back up from the 740s. My question here, and this is kind of one of those interesting things, because this was like a shift in an angle, and that does throw me off a little bit, but it's only like a move of $2 difference in Bitcoin. So even though I watch those things carefully, it almost never had that big of a change in pattern as it's doing this stuff. So it looks like it's going to go up while the pattern continues down. And if it makes it in that window soon enough, it's still like only like right there that it's got to do. So it's come up 20 since we've been talking about it. One of the things that we're going to learn to do along the way too is, even if we're in a position and we're not happy about that position, learning the times that you're doing well to get back in, sort of like dollar cost averaging, but not really. So do I think that Bitcoin is going to finish this pattern? I honestly don't know. That's probably the right answer for this. So under better conditions, I would recommend finding the right re-entry point to go back in on gas. Jumping jack flash is a gas. We don't really use that terminology anymore. I don't know if you've noticed that. Those crazy hippies with their stuff. So 192, 191, 92. Oh, I just don't know if it's going to make it up there again, but that gives me hope that it can sustain there somewhere in the mid 185s as a new low instead of the like 170s, and then it'll clear the next round. If not, then maybe it can actually do it this time around. That would be amazing. See, in this case, Bitcoin had a steady upward pattern after those two downward spikes. They were like $13 down, $13 down, and then a steady up for a long time, and everything responded really positively to that extra up. So I'm kind of filling this in here. I'm boosting you up there. Give me some confidence. And now, check this out. So it's coming back into range. So yeah, if you can see how this kind of went in a V, that to me is unexpected. I would have expected this to be where it finished that pattern, but it looks like it's correcting. So it's spiking on the way down, and this is what I've had to kind of learn to do with the entire like past year with the market, is to look for this safe thing here, and I really called it wrong around here, but it looks like we might get lucky and get through this thing. Is it luck? I don't know. It was still playing it safe, so this isn't really in the mood to do a fast changeover, so that's okay. And for our friend Dizio, I'm going to check out ADA again. Doesn't look like it's shifting from there. That's, wow. I mean, a range of not even 20. That's amazing. But I mean, it's not really a weak coin. It's not really weak, but it's just a really narrow range. This is unusual for art too. It's like, it is actually following a little bit of the same pattern as Bitcoin, but not at all responding to its volume or anything. So that's very strange. Unusable. And the other one being hot. This coin is hot. Honestly, I think that 37 is impressively high for it. I know that it would take it being around 111, I think, for it to earn its first penny in value. But that's not really what matters. You know, I mean, if you want to own 1 billion of a coin to make up what its actual street value would be if you cashed out, I mean, who cares about that part of it? What counts is whether it's going to hold some intrinsic value on the market. I don't think I would expect more than like 39. That concerns me, and what you can do is you can look at what are people's expectations for their buy-in points and their sell points. There's some people that are expecting it up as high as 46, and I bet you there's some extreme stuff in here too. Let's see. Like, I mean, you know, blah, 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 73, blah, 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 blah. So there are people holding out for, well, they're going to cancel those out and come back down. So that's not really realistic. In fact, if they did it right now, you would actually see a wobble happen in its value. So I'm distracting myself from which is like around in here. Yep, pretty good stuff there. And if I was feeling very aggressive, I would have gone back in around the 760 range. I'm just wanting to err, you know, very much on the side of caution while we're trying to set so many different things up. Thank goodness I wasn't on mute. That would have been really dumb. All right, Raven. Yep, that's the one at 697. I always have to show you because it's such an extreme. It's more than double. But Raven, I mean, when I saw that it peaked and I got stuck there, I was like really kind of annoyed with myself because I like to try to not be in anything that doesn't have like 3x that it could go back up. That way, if it only recovers by a third, then we're still out. And that's worked for like 80% of anything we've ever held has worked that way. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome with the hollow. It's just, it's, you know, like, I mean, the extreme example right now is like the cautionary tale. You know, BTT at 40,000 Bitcoin 24-hour volume, and people were going in at 27 and 28 with 1,100, somewhere around 1,100 Bitcoins on a single position. That was a lot of people with a lot of coin, and I was like, oh, guys, please, please, we need that in circulation for other things. So that's kind of what happened earlier when the storage and ELF ones were getting pumped heavy. Things were starting to slow down in other parts of the market, and, you know, that's where, you know, yeah, short-term greed, you know, it's very alluring for people to want to get in on a pump, but it's really only the people that created the pump that know that they're going to make the money. Most people by second number 2 are already losing. So because they go in with a market buy and it doesn't come back, it doesn't go up enough above that market after about 2 seconds. This looks like gas might actually be following through with a natural pattern. What I'm watching here, you know, this is going to be some of the advanced training stuff, but what I'm watching right here is that it doesn't necessarily have to finish a normal cycle. It can kind of create this kind of like a duckbill, I like to think of it, and then head back up. And holding my breath a little bit, but the Stalker SI is showing signs that if it goes up here, yep, it's showing the signs. If it goes up to here, we will finish this thing. If you will just do, yes. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Yay! There we go. Ah, what a relief. I did not want to. I mean, that, it was not a big position at all, but it's just, you choose to care about the things you choose to care about, right? So, we have to do the right thing. It's only right that we do the right thing. Where is... Oh, yeah. More cowbell, more cowbell. Fantastic. Okay, and then we ignore the fact that it's probably going to go back to 900 something. Because we need to be happy with what we get. We intended to get our 1%, actually 0.5%, and we got more than that. So very happy about that. All right, folks. And let's see, we started this around 8:30, 9:30, 10. So that's actually, I'm going to take a break and come back in so that I can make it all the way through the 1 o'clock, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. stuff. But keep watching gas. Very happy about that. Thank you very much. Oh, hello, Cleveland. All right, thank you guys for watching. And hey, yeah, it's actually kind of coming back down from there. So, all right, so we don't have anything left in positions there. Nothing left in positions over here. So, guys, we are going to give you a little bit of a break. I'm going to get a little bit of food, catch up on some news stuff, some website stuff, and then we'll come back in and hopefully do some even faster market movements. So this is actually, the kind of the normal pace that I would hope to see more of the market. And OST is strong. RDN, and don't get stuck in anything long term. OST, keep doing what you're doing. Literally 2 points away from where we need to clear. Thus far, that's the only thing that it still hasn't, it hasn't been a week, so it's not a hold, but I already think of it in terms of holds because I'm going to be my harshest critic there. Nano probably still would avoid. It's only done about 0.5% of movement. Doc, a little bit impressed. You can see 236 to 239. That was a position right there. I usually like to see about 3 times what's needed for the movement, hence part of the principle of thirds. All those different things that are rolled into our process. So as I get ready to sign out, guys, please, pretty please, subscribe to YouTube, ring the bell so you know when stuff's coming on and when we update new videos. I'm going to be organizing more and more into playlists so it's easier to find, and you can share the playlist with people in case they are interested in learning from those. And please join archangelalts.com. Go to Getting Started, free forever. Come join our community. And if you are looking for the more advanced version of these live streams, we're going to start rolling them out once we, are finished kind of with this first week of the soft launch and getting out of beta into, super mega earnings with super mega people. So Archangel Alts, free forever. Come join our community. Q&A, news, updates, market watch, individual coins. Learn our playbook, learn our strategies. We will guide you through these positions. I'm not a certified professional champion with a plaque on the wall. There are no experts in crypto, but some people have a better track record than others. And even though I am very harsh on myself, we actually seem to be making through this process pretty well. So last one, is just I still have an instinct that this is going to do what we need it to do. This is a really good sign. So what we hope from here, just as a kind of a sign off, let me make sure I'm not muted. That would be really stupid. Yep, not muted. All right. What we're hoping to see here is that this is not the time in the cycle where Bitcoin takes a drop. Okay, so if right now it can hold at 3630 because that's what these coins now need, people are showing more and more optimism. Even though things go up and down with Bitcoin, the amount of people buying into things does not. That's all organic, either bots, whales, baby sharks, minnows, and then there's Mod. people react to the enthusiasm with their emotions, fear of missing out, especially right now. So if Bitcoin drops from 3630 back down to 3613, even though that was fine for yesterday, it will have a dramatic drop effect on these coins. So that's what we don't want to see happen right now. In fact, it's almost as bad if Bitcoin went from learn stuff, trade, look forward to. Oh yeah, gotcha, easier. And let me make sure I'm still not muted. That was basically just rounding everything out. That was about 1% of 140. So $1.40, I think. I mean, it was not a large position. So it's more than anything just showing the process. So normally we should be at, if we follow our own intervals, my trade positions are supposed to be around 0.42, 0.47. So that would be like a $40, $50 position on our normal trading days. So right now I'm just I'm trying to balance everything and do so carefully and not get us stuck in anything that would put us behind. So yeah, made probably about $1.40. Normally that would be about a $40 position. All right, man. Yeah, come join us again. I plan to actually do it this time, to come back for a second shift. I traded offline. Well, not offline, but not live streaming yesterday because going into the 5 a.m. stuff was just a little bit too crazy on their server side. But you are so welcome. You are a blessing to us, and we'll figure out whatever it is that was messed up on the getting you joined up, and make sure that you can be a part of the community. Hopefully it's not anything glitchy that we have to redo on the website. I think that it should be working regularly. We're just not sure why I was giving you trouble. All right, God bless you guys. We will be back around. Archangels